and a second to adopt tonight's agenda.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we postpone the public hearing tonight due to the crowd we have here. Since we don't have adequate space for people to sit down, and I think everybody should be able to sit down and hear the hearing.
What's that motion?
Motion is to postpone the public hearing for 30 days so we get a bigger place so everybody can come and hear the whole entire hearing.
Some of us took off work to come here and hear what was going on.
Hopefully you can take off next time.
We have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I would second it because we don't have.
Second.
I mean, is everybody in here? I feel comfortable with it.
Do both sides feel comfortable enough having it with the way the room is?
Yes. Yeah.
I hear this side, how about the other side?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, I have a question. It hadn't been answered. It would be in line with what you're saying. There's probably about 500 members, stockholders of the Denton Swim Club who own, and I helped write the bylaws. We're landowners of that property, and they have not been notified, and we have a right to speak as a stockholder of the Denton Swimming Club. Because that is adjacent property, it comes right beside it. So if we need to bring 500 more people in here, you know, we might need that window to speak up, because I don't think these geniuses thought of that. But we are stockholders, we own the property in the Denton Swim Club, we paid stock all our lives, that makes us a part of the land. It's in the bylaws.
Good point.
There you go. The letter was mailed to.
Postpone it until you get a bigger
Okay.
place. We'll have-
This time I have a motion to move the meeting till next month. I have a second.
And possibly a better definition of who could speak, who can't speak, and why you can, why you can't. Because there's been a lot of confusion for that since we've come in.
Yes, sir.
Asking if you could
Clarify
speak.
that later on.
Yeah, that would help. I was hoping to have that
Perhaps to
clarification.
have a closed session before Spotty's motion was voted on.
We could.
I think that would be appropriate.
This time, would you consider withdrawing that motion?
Or postponing it until we have closed session.
I don't much want to. I'll postpone it till we have closed session.
What's that?
I'll postpone my motion till we go in closed session and get it back from the attorney.
Okay, adoption of tonight's agenda. We'll back after that.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to also add some engineering hydraulic study discussion. Maybe 17A or something.
Anyone else? If not, all in favor, say aye. Will you make a motion?
I withdrew my motion.
I'll make the motion to adopt the agenda. Adding 17A.
Second. Okay, very good. Approval of January 6, 2025 minutes. Do that. Back up.
Back up.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. All right, approval of January 6, 2025 minutes.
I make a motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Second. All in favor? Okay, now this public comment is not pertaining to the solar farm. This is public comment. Citizens may speak on items not listed on the printed agenda. Please state your name and address and observe the 3-minute time limit. Do we have anyone signed up for that?
I can pass the papers around.
Public comment only. Teresa Matthews.
Yes, sir.
How are you, Teresa?
I'm doing okey dokey. So you want me to step over here since I'm croaking anyway. I want to thank the mayor and the police chief and the staff for helping with the point in time, statewide, maybe nationwide, I'm not positive, but it's a point in time identification of the homeless in the area. It's been done for several years, but mainly done in the Lexington area, which is leaving out a whole lot of county. And it does, it's a way to pinpoint services and get services and ways to help the folks that are homeless. It was conducted, there were 4 sites that were determined in the Denton direct area. Robert Barr did help assist us with finding those people. This was done by DC Connect, which is associated with Davidson Medical Ministries. But DC Connect connects people to the service. When someone comes in, they can get them help with whatever they need, shelter, food. It's a really big operation or a big undertaking, but this identifying the homeless in the county is something that's real important when it comes to having the numbers there for grants or funding or any way to help these homeless with their needs. It started January 29th at multiple places in the county. It continues. They can still count through tomorrow at midnight. So, like I said, there were 4 areas in Denton located. If anybody knows of an area, I'd be happy to connect you with the person who can count those folks. Like I said, it's mainly to help identify areas where the homeless are. And homeless being not sleeping on somebody else's couch, but actually being in the woods or in a structure that's not meant for human habitation. That can include having no water and no electric. And that's a big deal. There are people homesteading places. And we're just trying to make sure that we're identifying and can get them the help that they need. But thank you very much for the support, Mayor. And like I said, the police chief also was a great help. So thank you.
Appreciate your comment.
Yes, sir.
Bill Sigel.
Well, my public comment was just to clarify, are we going to be, as a member of the Denton Swim Club and owner of stock and property, are we going to be allowed to speak on the, as adjacent property owners? We weren't allowed to sign up coming in, and then I asked that question and it's not been clarified.
So we will clarify, point of clarification, we will clarify that before we move forward with the evidentiary hearing. We will have a standing determination.
Is that going to be tonight?
Well, we don't know. It just depends on if it's postponed, but after we come out of closed session, hopefully we'll know that answer.
So in closed session, who's going to decide whether we get to
We're not
speak?
deciding that in closed session. There's some other things that I have to go over with the board in closed session. But after closed session, we will either postpone the hearing or we will move forward with the hearing. And there will be a standing determination portion at the beginning of the hearing where we will determine who has standing and who does not.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? If not, we'll move right on to the closed session for attorney-client privilege in accordance with North Carolina General Statute 143-318.
I need a motion.
Yeah, I need a motion and a second. To go
I'll
into
make a
closed
motion.
Second.
Closed session.
session. Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Our attorney has a few issues that she would like to address
I need to go out of closed session.
with everyone right now.
Make a motion to go out of closed session.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
That motion carries. Need a motion to go back into open session.
Make a motion to go back in open session.
And a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Open session.
So I just want to kind of go over a few points with everybody about what type of hearing this hearing on the solar farm is going to be, because it's a special type of hearing that we don't have a lot of. and it's something called a quasi-judicial hearing. And what that means is that it's very much like a court case in that only certain people are allowed to present evidence and testify. Not everybody is allowed to speak. And I know that's confusing and upsetting sometimes because everybody, Denton, especially in Denton, which it's a small town, everybody has concerns and cares for what goes on in Denton, and it's very much near and dear to the hearts of everybody here. So I want to make you aware of the fact that in this type of proceeding, the commissioners here are actually acting like a judge in a courtroom. And so what that means is they're not allowed to consider their opinions. What they want does not matter in this instance. The only thing when this hearing is had that they are allowed to consider is evidence that is presented from people with standing, and the evidence can't just be a layperson's opinion. The evidence has to be competent factual evidence. So typically you see experts present with testimony. You see people that, have specific qualifications that make them competent to testify. Each side can have their own attorney involved in these things. So there's attorneys here present tonight for the folks that are applying for this permit and have asked for the special use permit. And anybody that has standing that is opposed is also allowed to have an attorney present. So it's one of those situations where I want you to understand we're going to determine standing first, and specifically related to the pool. So as with any business or organization, nonprofit or for-profit, the business is actually, in that case, it's an incorporated entity, so it's registered with the Secretary of State. And so the town is required to serve that party based on what's registered with the Secretary of State. And they did that. Now, in that case, the members of the pool, or whichever business or nonprofit, could vote on who would represent them at the hearing. If no one votes on that, then it's assumed that the president would do it. But it's one party. So in other words, if Walmart had standing and they were serving all the shareholders of Walmart, all the shareholders would not be able to speak. Walmart would be served and Walmart's representative could speak. Go ahead.
Did y'all consider the fact that the Denton Swim Club is only active with their mail and their business the months of May, June, July, and August, so they would not have gotten that letter?
Unfortunately, we can't consider that. We have to serve in accordance with what is required by law.
Who is we?
Angel's the one that actually served it on behalf of the town, and she's required to serve it in accordance with the statutory guidelines.
So did you get a return to sender?
We did not.
So it's still sitting in the post office box. It wouldn't be checked till the town of Denton knows the operation of that pool. So we knew they wouldn't open that box.
Unfortunately, that's not something that we can do anything about.
You wouldn't consider that at all as,
No.
that makes a lot of sense.
I'm sorry, but that's the way the law works on that. It's a situation where, in this instance, I know a lot of people think that, or have expressed concerns that, we want the commissioners to do this. Regardless of what the commissioners want, the commissioners will have to listen to the evidence presented. There will be findings of fact. Findings of fact are either met or they're not. And then if the requirements are not met, then they can vote no. If the requirements are met, they will have no choice but to vote yes. So it's a situation where it has nothing to do with what they want. And I want to make that clear to you going into this, because it's not a situation where they have really any control over that. It's what evidence is presented. And so that, I just wanted to make sure that everybody kind of understood the hearing process and how this works. Now, once the actual hearing is going to take place, we will ask for anybody who wishes to speak, either for or against, and there will be a standing determination. And at that time, you will have the opportunity to explain why you believe that you have standing. You'll be able to present evidence as to why you have standing. Having standing can be either that you own adjoining property or you have some other reason or interest that you are going to be potentially negatively harmed by this in a substantial manner. And so you can present evidence for that, and if you are determined to have standing, then you'll be allowed to cross-examine their witnesses and present your own evidence as well. Are there any other general questions about procedure?
So the way you explained standing as far as getting legal representation, experts, was that communicated to the residents that have adjoining land?
So the residents, the residents
So
that
I'd
have,
say you put this off until they can get that.
the residents that have adjoining land were given notice of the hearing, and they've had an opportunity to take that notice and consult legal counsel to determine whether or not they needed to have
Well, you
legal
can explain
counsel.
that to them.
Who would never do that?
Exactly.
Well,
These guys know.
That's for sure.
and I can't give you answers to that, but I can tell you, I get calls every day from clients that get these notices saying, hey, this is going on, it affects my property, what do I need to do?
This is a different group. This is,
I understand.
well, evidently not.
The fact that nobody asked does not mean that they didn't have those concerns. It would seem like to me that the company would want the community to be on board with this. Those are the positive things that supposedly can come from, people collaborating on something like this, and it should include the community, and you should want the community to have ample opportunity to explore all those things. And if the community is telling you that they have not, or they misunderstood, like, as from what you're saying, that we have adjoining property, our property value is likely to go down, but we've just been told over and over, y'all can't say anything, y'all can't say anything. And so we've not come prepared to this meeting to say anything, because we've been told we couldn't say anything. So I would think that the company who is going to benefit from this the most would want collaboration within the community and would want us to be able to explore all that. And if they don't agree with that, then whether it's within the legal boundaries of what this committee wants to do or not, that is really, I don't even know a word to describe what that is.
Love.
I understand. I'm just simply
So
giving
that seems like to
information.
me, can we just put this off so that the people, because they didn't understand the letter.
You understand, I don't have any control over that. I'm just explaining to you how a quasi-judicial
Who
hearing
does
works.
have control of that?
I'm just explaining to you how a quasi-judicial hearing works. So we're gonna turn the meeting back over to the commissioners at this
I
point
think
and
you
move
should be
forward.
working off of information though, and they're telling you they were not properly informed. So that seems like to me you're setting yourself up for a
Well, I'd
lot.
send out a notice if they're not gonna get it during the business hour. I mean, what is the purpose of a notice
Checking
except
a
to be a
box and
notice?
say you did
And
it.
if you don't even get it, then it's not even considered what it is. And she doesn't even get a return
It was also
stamp.
published in the newspaper.
Where,
2
what
weeks
page?
ago, I put
2 weeks ago. He
Does
put it in
everybody
this week.
subscribe
I
to
think
the
some of the
record?
attempts to
Okay,
notify the
order,
public
please.
is very inaccurate.
Wait, one person at a time here.
Very inaccurate.
I think we need to move on. It's not gonna.
Your goal should be to want the response from the community, not to slide this under the rug
Quickly.
and get it approved because
Exactly.
you're checking off the boxes. That's
Okay.
not collaboration.
This time, this board's gonna move forward.
Mr. Mayor, I reiterate my motion that due to the crowd and the inability for us to sit everybody down, that we move this public hearing to February 24th at Southern Event Center at 6 p.m.
No, they
I changed it.
can't.
I changed it.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Second.
It's February the
Any further discussion
Wait
needed?
a minute, wait a minute. What was the other thing?
Was that adequate time? Can't we get more time? I'd say several months.
Mr. Mayor, does it have to be that quick? Is there a time?
I'm sorry, I can't.
Does it have to be that quick of a change of the topic, or we have a little bigger window?
Yeah, 3.5 at least.
Not necessarily, it'd be the wish of this board to make that decision, Bill. What do you think's adequate?
3 to 6 months, I believe.
I'd say at least 60 to 90 days.
26, Mayor, change it to 26.
26?
Second.
Would Mr. Marsh consider a motion to give us a little bit bigger window? in your motion on the date?
I mean, how long did this
March
company have to
31st.
prepare for this meeting? Shouldn't we have adequate representation on the timeframe?
Can't get an attorney in a day.
Right.
Most of us are concerned about our groundwater being contaminated by some of this stuff and all of the health potentials. Has an environmental impact report come out yet on this that none of us have seen? If so, can we please see that?
That'll come up when we have witnesses and
Independent one,
testify.
independent one.
Because that would alleviate at least a lot of fears, possibly.
And that information will be forthcoming.
Can we ask
That
for
question will be
extension
answered really well.
of 90 days? Can we ask for a 90-day movement on this instead of less than a month? We're not even getting 30 days. 60 to 90, that's fair, that's reasonable.
What is the solar farm? I'm sure y'all want to do it as quick as possible.
Okay, that matter, then we're asking.
Can they be objective? If we can't be objective, I'm pretty sure they cannot.
Quiet, please.
Mayor?
Yeah, sorry. Commissioner, we'd be happy to do it later this month or in early March, and then also hold I'll call it a more informal meeting with all the community, maybe here again at the town hall that we did a couple late last year. We're more than happy to do that kind of informal meeting and have all of our experts here, as well as more folks from my team that can help answer questions as well, and hopefully allow members of the community to ask questions direct to us where they may not be able to speak due to this SUP hearing.
So you would be good with mid-March?
Like around March 15th or so?
Okay.
I have a point of order. Are you saying that you'd like to have an open town hall meeting like you did prior and then have the board hold their meeting?
As an informational session, and I can work with the town as well as send mailers out to get that publicized so that folks are aware again.
Do the informational end of March and 90 days for us for the next hearing. My goodness, give us some time.
Yeah, if you have good intentions, what difference does it make?
Yeah. It'll be next September.
Yeah. Such a good benefit, then there's no worries, right?
I'll be here.
All right, Mr. Mayor?
And when is their town hall?
I don't know.
So we're gonna do it at Larry's then?
Yep. Mr. Mayor, I'm gonna redo my motion again. Make it March 18th at 6 o'clock at Southern Event Center.
Second.
Any further discussion?
How are they gonna publicize their?
That's up to them.
I have a question. Does the town have the right to hire their own specialized environmental survey of this? That's, does the town have the right to do due diligence on the impact of this community from the town's perspective?
Got a motion, let's give us the opportunity to vote.
Sorry.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that meeting will take place on 3/18, 6 p.m. at the Southern Event Center.
Is that the informational meeting or is that?
I'm gonna let them clarify that.
Okay,
That's the official.
Yeah, that's the town's meeting.
Okay, when's the
The
information?
solar farm wants to have a meeting.
I need to get
Give out information.
sorry. I will stick around for everyone after the meeting is adjourned. So if anyone wants to talk to me, and we can kind of figure out a timeline for that meeting in the next week or so.
Is this your second informational meeting?
It will be, yes.
How many showed up for the first one?
I believe we had about 3 to 4.
Okay, great.
How did you know about it?
Wow.
We sent out mailers to every neighbor of the joint.
What about the community?
What about the community?
And what about people whose property values are gonna go down because of this?
All right, Mayor, we're gonna move on.
Okay.
I'll be up here.
We're gonna move ahead with our regular meeting this time. Thank y'all for coming tonight. President, Greg will know it.
So I just wanted to ask you one thing, I'm sure you don't know. What, can the town hire its own environmental, study? Why? the town has no
I'll probably have to. Yes. Hey, how are you doing? Yeah. See you.
Yes, we
I
are.
call for recess.
Oh, I make a motion to
You didn't hear me.
You didn't get a vote, you didn't get a motion to recess.
Go back and let's get the meeting on.
Okay.
Yes,
Move it.
Got a motion.
Review and award bid for
Quiet down a little bit.
SRP WARP 0267 Bar Spring Conveyor Project, Heather Miller, and that has moved back for when?
I need to have a date from the commissioners. Ms. Miller had a family emergency that she had to take care of. And she said, you will give her a date, she'll kind of meet with you to discuss this project and let you know how to move forward and proceed with that. So when would be a good time for you guys to meet on that project?
Don't we need to do it as soon as we can, since we've been waiting almost a year?
Well, if she's not available for tonight to discuss it, I need a date. I need to know when.
Do it next
Well, maybe we'll ask her since she's the one that's holding us up tonight.
Some day,
Not a
one day,
Thursday.
not a Thursday, okay? What is everyone's availability for next week
I'll be
or
gone
the
on
week
Wednesday.
after?
Be gone the rest of the week.
Okay.
What about the 11th?
You'll give me at least a couple of dates and then that way I can go back to
Yeah,
Ms.
11
Miller.
would be good.
Y'all don't be there for that, do you?
Yeah.
What is, how about the 11th or the 18th? To give you 2 dates.
Okay. Okay, so 11th or the
Yeah.
18th. All right, I will check with her first thing in the morning and,
I can't, I won't be here at the 12th to 15th.
Yeah, that's why I said the 11th or the 18th.
When? Okay.
okay, so it's possibly 2 weeks from now. Okay.
Moving right along, man.
Yeah. Approved 24-25 contract with Davidson County Senior Services for use of the Denton Civic Center.
The senior services has a new director, and with the changeover in directors, we just received their contract for the 24-25 fiscal budget year. So it's just approving the contract for them to use the facilities Monday through Friday. They do Meals on Wheels through there and then other activities for the seniors in the community. They've also started the senior cafe, which is after like sometime between lunch and 5, they do some lunch and learns and things like that with the residents that are not part of the regular programs that go on there. So it's just to approve that contract. It is still at 75% of the utilities for their use in that.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve the senior services contract as normal.
Okay.
Second. Any further discussion?
I'll
If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
That motion carries. Approve updated town of Denton fee schedule.
At our last meeting, we approved the bulk water rate for this new year, and this is just to add this to our fee schedule, bless you, in order to have our fee schedule updated based on that recommendation from the auditor. And it is at $1, 1.8059 per 1,000 gallons.
That's the only change on this.
It is, yeah. And it's stated as public recreational water rate because that's also the rate that we approved with the splash pad. That's what they received.
But that's not necessarily what we would charge somebody coming in with the tanker.
No, they are charged at regular rate.
Okay.
Yeah. But that is the only change on that.
I would make a motion that we approve the updated town of Denton fee schedule. Second.
Any further discussion on that? If not, all in favor say aye. That motion carries also. Approved budget amendment 2024-25 for wastewater treatment plant clarifier gearbox.
Just to clarify, this is actually the clarifier mechanisms for 2 clarifiers at the wastewater treatment plant that were rebuilt. It was, they went down and had to be rebuilt. It wasn't a scheduled maintenance on these clarifiers. So, but it was, work was done through Underwood, who seems to be provider of a lot of our services. And this was one that he took care of doing. But the invoice, as you can see, was $99,981, which sales tax comes back to us, that it was not an approved budget item, as it was not scheduled.
Mr. Mayor, I will make a motion to approve the fund transfer.
Second.
Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. That motion carries also. Approved budget amendment 2024-25-04 for Police Department flooring and painting project.
We approved the actual projects, and this is just giving you the final cost of what the painting and the flooring ended up costing. It was $15,435.58, and that's to do the actual budget amendment to move the money to pay for the approved project.
I make a motion to amend the general fund budget. The revenues will be changed to the following for this.
Second.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Approved County Denton's policy for data breach or intimate breach procedures.
Chief James is working on updating policies that we need in order to be able to apply for grants through the Governor's Highway Safety Program. And the town policy, data breach policy, is something that we have not had in place. I think, we pretty much have just worked off of what we know. If there's something going on, we're not sure, we reach out to town hall and then we call IT. But this actually gives a structure for what takes place. It defines what a data breach is. It tells what the protective measures are that we are taking. It also gives staff clarification as to who should be contacted if there is a breach. And then it states what we are doing to try to avoid those breaches. And then what post-incident review and corrective actions will be taken if that were to happen here at the town. We hope that it doesn't, but you can never be sure of what can happen at any time. But this would just be a document stating that this is what our policy would be. It would be reviewed with staff once approved, and Chief James is providing this to the state for those grants. Does anybody have any questions about the procedures that are listed for that? There is a blank under item 6 notifications, and that's for project director, and that could change. On this particular time, it would be Chief James, but it could be captain or sergeant in that position, whoever's applying for the particular grant.
It's just for the police department?
No, it's townwide.
Okay, so,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. And it could, like if the fire department's applying for a grant or anyone else,
Yeah.
whoever that project manager is, would be listed there.
I make a motion that we approve the town of Denton policy for data breach or imminent breach procedures.
Second.
Second. Any further discussion needed? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Review the town's jobs and business creation grant. I'm gonna let Barbara speak on that one.
You don't mind, Barbara,
You
I'll
want to?
just open
Yeah, you go
up.
Okay.
So I did provide you a little bit of background on some changes that have taken place most recently. Some minutes from meetings July of 2023 and August of 2023. Just that update that we last did to several of the items. We did take them step by step and kind of went through them to see what we wanted to change, what we wanted to improve on. There are 5 different grants that are available. One is for utility services, one is new jobs creation, commercial and industrial construction, and restoration and renovation, and then business beautification. And we did run this grant in the Denton Orator last year. It is on our website, and we can post it out or share it at any time that we want to. But I'm not sure of what specific information you wanted to review. So,
Well, this was something that the ladies do, like you may think it down here at Calpo. They were really interested in this, but they didn't know nothing about it, and they were wanting to look into this.
okay. So with any of the projects, they have to be pre-approved. If you look at like the beautification grant, anything that can be awarded up to $1,000 for qualifying projects. And there's a list of items that are available as a qualifying project: new and improved paint, signs, awnings, and light. But it does have to be submitted prior to the job being started, and it has to be approved. I believe this was approved by the planning board and like I said, it is up to $1,000. The others, if they were looking at restoration and renovations, could possibly be, percentage of their taxes, but it is, I think majority of them do list that a company has to be in business for at least a year to get the tax base back, and then also on the beautification grant, it would be paid after a year.
Yeah, I think some of that stuff we should lighten up a little bit. I mean, most businesses need the money in the first year, or they're not gonna be here the second year.
And do they need like, to have these 2 pages? They need to be able to, those that are interested, have this right here. Is this the main one?
This is their application.
Yeah.
I'd like to change utility services to immediate, not after 1 year. Personally. Because we've got several new businesses downtown, right, Mayor, and they're gonna need all the help they can get.
Yeah.
So you're saying that you would want it to read that if they apply for it, they could receive the first 3 months of their utility bills?
Yep.
Okay, so can we, go through and make the recommended changes, and then I'll bring you the updated? Is that okay, like, to print it and just approve it?
I know Scalpo's doing a sign now, but they'd probably have that $1,000 now.
And I think they just started today.
Yeah.
This morning.
But that has to be pre-approved.
Looking good there.
That has to be pre-approved. And they have not got a permit for it, so they've been contacted for that as well.
A permit, we give permits for that kind of sign, paint on the building?
Yes, you do. It's in your
When do we
zoning
start
ordinance.
that?
It's in your zoning ordinance, section 6, number 5.
Okay, I'd like to change that. I'd like to change the new jobs to 6 months instead of 12. And I'd like to change the beautification to not after 12 months, immediate at completion of the sign. Just my opinion.
Okay, can you go back and restate which one you're talking about and what you just said?
All right, and utility services, take it out after, not after 1 year, take the grant shall be paid to the business after it's been in operation for 1 year, just take that out. They can get it immediately. On the new jobs, section 2.
Wait a minute, I have a question. Do we need to, are you also saying strike the sentence prior to the business must remain in existence for a period of 12 months from the time of the grant?
Yeah.
So if they are there for 4 months and.
We lose 3 months, water.
I don't like that.
Okay. Change it.
I mean, I think that if they go out within that first 12 months, they should have to pay it back.
Okay, we can do that. I'll give you that.
But you're hard to pay back if
Right.
you're already out of business.
I understand that, but I'm just saying that if we do that, there needs to be some repercussion.
Okay, I'll give you
It's
that.
an attempt.
What if you did, if you're wanting to do a 3-month coverage after, a 6-month period of being in business? Because really.
Then they get like a rebate on the first 3 months, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
I like that.
You said the first 6
Because
months.
like after that 6-month period, the grant could be for that first 3 months.
Retroactive the first 3 months.
Yes.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Okay.
We ain't thinking about no money, though. $300.
I know.
It ain't like it's.
And is that to be refunded to them or to be a credit on the account?
I'd say refund to them.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Refund.
Refund.
Yeah, if you're gonna help them.
Okay.
I know credit's easier, but I think it's refund.
Okay, under new jobs, the last part of that states that at the end of the 12-month period, the town will grant, the town grant will be paid upon documentation by the business to the effect that the employees was hired for a full 12 months and was paid a median wage for Davidson County. So changing that to a 6-month period.
6 months. We never had nobody apply for it, we never spent it. I don't think it's gonna be knocking the doors down.
I think the only one that I know of that actually used that was the Ford place down here on 109.
It's not been used in.
I don't think so, but.
That was one
Wow.
time, just one time they used it cause
No.
the Ford place. They
Oh,
decided
floor.
red.
Okay, and looking at number 3, since, let's just go ahead and go
But
through
I mean, I
them.
thought they used it to go.
Looking at number
Maybe
3,
it
they
ended up
grant
doing-
Sorry. A grant may be awarded for construction or new business building within the town limits or the new use of an existing building, adding jobs and becoming a town utility customer. The grant will be in the amount equal to the prevailing fee for a water and sewer tap that was paid in advance by the utility customer. These grants will be paid from the general fund after the builder or owner of the newly constructed business has advanced the payments for these expenses and has received a certificate of occupancy for the completed structure.
Now, do we need to keep that sewer tap thing?
I didn't change anything on that.
Yeah, I'm just asking, is there anyone who is asking to change that? I mean, this one's quite I mean, you're giving back the entire cost of that, could be $2,000, but it's out of pocket on the enterprise fund, quite a bit. Paula, were you able to get that information back from Dayton prior to the meeting?
He has not sent it.
Okay. We were just checking to see like what our cost was on sewer taps or water taps so that we knew what we're out on those. But we can let you know. That one.
We still ain't talking about no money.
But we're not changing anything.
Yeah, we're not changing it anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, that one's same.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I don't know what we're.
Number 4, I didn't have anything changed on that.
Anybody else, with restoration and renovations? And it is basically a grant that would equal 50% of the increased tax value to be paid annually over a 5-year period. And it does have to go before the Denton Planning Board to be approved.
As far as I know, we never had any apply for that one either.
Not since I've been here.
And all this is tied to the, there's only so much grant, I mean, so,
It's
take
up to-
5,000 or 8,000.
Yeah,
So, you know.
per applicant. And then your budget's $8,000.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody want any changes on number 4? Is there anything that you like to see, add, or clarify? All right, number 5 is your business beautification. A commercial beautification grant is established to improve the appearance of Denton businesses. A grant of up to $1,000 are available to a qualified project to improve the exterior appearance of businesses through investment in new and improved paint, signs, awnings, and the like. The grants will be approved by the Town of Denton Planning Board, which will accept the applications. Prior approval for the projects must be obtained before the work begins, and the project will not be eligible for the grant. If the business owner does not own the property, written permission from the owner of the property must be provided with the grant application. The business owner is required to provide receipts for the approved improvements, and all grants will be paid after the business is active for 12 months.
I'd like to take out after the business is active for 12 months and put it at completion.
Okay. Anybody else?
And we, that one has been used several times. And I don't think we ever got bit but once. As far as somebody could sign with them or something.
Anyone else have any thoughts, concerns, or changes on that one?
The only thought I have about these overall is, I'm not saying that we need to broadcast it everywhere, but I think that this should be something that is easily found by new businesses. I feel like it's hidden. And it's like, oh yeah, we got it, but you gotta ask for it, you gotta know to ask for it, and I just don't think that's right.
Yeah, I know to have a lawyer.
Yeah.
And I think this could be beneficial to think what's going on down here at these.
I mean, I don't know where exactly to put it, if we put it, you know, on the Facebook, I mean, on the website or somewhere, but I just think it does need to have
So
at
maybe
least some.
when they come in and apply for water, or if you're visiting businesses, take it with you.
think the mayor needs to hand deliver to new businesses. What do y'all
There
think?
you go. There you go.
We don't, yeah, if we require a business license, that'd be a perfect time to do that. But we don't require those.
I mean, even if you had like, whether the mayor, hand delivered it, or whenever they're applying, if there's like a folder or something that says new businesses, and they can see, oh, there's information that I can take. I just think it needs to be somewhere where people know to look.
Do you have an incentive section on your website?
I don't think so, but we can. We can drop that under our government information forms and do a tab for information like that. Okay, so we'll make the changes to this and bring it back to you guys just to make sure it's worded the way that you want it worded and make that active.
Consideration to purchase 2016 Ford Explorer from the Archdale Police Department.
I've given you guys just a breakdown of this vehicle. James has reached out to Archdale Police Department. We worked with them over a period of time with several things. They actually gave us some equipment for our latest vehicle that we have in service. And they have this 2016 Explorer that is in really good condition. The chief was able to go and look at it. And it's $2,000 is the cost for the actual vehicle. The equipment that is remaining in the vehicle is at a cost that if we purchased individually would be over $2,000 for that. It does need a water pump. So the cost for a water pump is $78 and labor is $880 approximate. The decals are $650. Total overall cost is approximately $4,033. Will be used for another backup vehicle. As I stated, the chief's vehicle is starting to give us some problems, so it will be the next vehicle that we do have to replace. But this will give us another backup in case the officer's vehicle is in the shop and the chief would need one as well.
I make a motion to approve the purchase of the Ford Explorer with the expected cost, once complete, to be around $4,033.
I second it.
Any further discussion? Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That one carries.
And then also, pleasure board that we can do the budget amendment once we have total cost to do the budget amendment. Okay,
Do you need a motion?
if you don't mind.
So moved.
Okay. I need a
Second.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Go ahead.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. For consideration and approval of request from part of the Carolinas Antique Power Club to host antique tractors and cruising downtown Denton, May the 3rd, 2025.
I'm going to speak on this briefly, and if you guys have any questions, I'm going to refer to Ms. Paula, because this is an event that she's on the board of. But the Heart of the Carolinas actually hosted their first annual tractor show last year, and they held it at the vacant lot that Larry Furr actually has beside of the police department. Had really great turnout, had vendors and tractors and cars and food vendors as well. So it was a nice event. They're wanting to expand that into having a cruise in and located downtown in the central part of town. So I'll let Paula elaborate on that a little bit more.
Okay. One reason for potentially moving it was Larry has his property for sale. So we didn't want, he has offered it to us, but we didn't want to take the chance of getting right at the event and him selling. So I was exploring options, mentioned it to Angel, and she asked that I bring it before the board. I'm looking at if the board approves it, using the grass lot behind the bank as well as the parking lot for either the tractors and or the cars, allowing the cars to park on the streets, kind of like Lexington has. Notifying the businesses downtown that will be hosting this, hoping that they would be open that day for people to, walk around and kind of just have a very relaxed day, and people looking at, the antique tractors as well as the cars, also visiting the vendors. The artisan market would already be open, so we could, advertise additional vendors in that area. The village would also be open for food. We would have a couple of other options for food as well. And just would really like to ask if you guys would consider this. I do not plan to request any street closures whatsoever. So it would be just a normal day of walking around, and if they needed to cross the street, they would use their judgment on that. But anyway, this is a free event to people that are attending. Our club does a lot of donations to people in need as far as health issues, and so we are going to ask for sponsors this year if anyone would like to do that, kind of like we do for our festival, so that we'll have the funds to continue on with that practice that we've already set forth. Questions, concerns?
I would make a motion that we approve the request from Heart of Carolina's Antique Power Club, a second, for the May 3rd event.
Any further discussion? Not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Motion carries. Approved 2025 Parks and Recreation Community Events Calendar.
Mayor and Board, you see we've got several events planned out throughout the year, and the Parks and Rec meeting, they did discuss the regular events that they had hosted in the past, and trying to brainstorm some ideas that they'll bring to you, maybe to add to the event calendar. One being a concert series, just to try to see if they can get that started. I know the board has asked for that, and we did share that with them at the last meeting. And they're going to reach out, see what availability is of particular bands, and then kind of make a determination whether you do like a first Friday or Thursday event. Trying to plan around what other communities around in Davidson County are hosting as well. But the Easter Extravaganza will be your first event. Then your Letter Sweep, your Pink Cares of Carolina, Memorial Day service, your summer kickoff, which I believe they've planned a movie in the park. Is what they usually do, with lots of fun and games for the families. Our Antique Festival will be held July 1st through the 5th, with set up on June 30th. Back to School Bash, that's to be determined because the school calendar has not been set yet, and the talk is that they are going to start school early, so they're not sure if they'll have to do that at the end of July or the first week of August, so we'll bring that date to you when we have it. The 9/11 Remembrance will be on September the 11th. Falls Litter Sweep is on the 16th of September. The Bark in the Park and the Bike Rodeo will be determined. Barbara Simpson hosts that, so they're waiting on the date to come back from her, but it's usually in September. Your Ghost Walk, the Historical Ghost Walk, is hosted by Commissioner Hogan, and that will be every Friday in October. Your Street Festival this year will be October the 11th. Monster Mash and the 4th Annual Chili Cook-Off will be the 25th of October. Veterans Day, of course, November the 11th, with the community service, or community veterans dinner as well. And our hometown Christmas lights and love light service the Friday night before our Christmas parade on December the 6th. So lots of stuff throughout the year. And again, like I said, they do have a couple of other things that they'll be bringing to you, but if there's anything else that you'd like to add or change, you know, please let us know. They were gonna have several of the Parks and Rec couldn't be here tonight, so they did say they'll be more than glad to answer any questions that you might have.
Yeah, I'd love to see a concert series with a decent band to
Yeah, that's what they're looking at.
the Bojangles crowd.
Now, and I will say, you know, as we shared and Paula and the staff gathered lots of calls together, and it can be about, you know, if we did 5 weeks, that could possibly be about $10,000, depending on which band it is. But we'll bring all that back to you to see what we can do, who we can get. So.
Yeah, because they're probably getting booked right now, so it's
Well,
probably
they were
less.
booked last year for this
by
year.
this time.
So, but we'll see. A lot of the agents booked several bands at one, or booking agents for several bands, so one may have an opening that we can get.
Good.
So,
And of course, we can talk about it closer time, but I'd really like to see a small remembrance ceremony on 9/11, like we used to do. Don't have to be anything big, just something small in the park that morning. But we can talk about it closer time.
We need to make a motion.
if you will, please.
I move that we accept the 2025 calendar as presented.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Okay, Commissioner Morris asked that we have a discussion on the hydraulic study.
Yeah, Joe, I
Where we
noticed
stand.
in your report that Max reached out for a state copy of design on Main Street on the pump station and the water tower, and the permit was approved or not, yada, yada, yada. We've been dealing with Mr. Summy for well over a year, and it's been the same excuse, I think, about that pump station the whole time. I make a motion that we terminate his contract on the hydraulic study immediately.
Okay. Any discussion?
We ain't got nothing from him at all that I know of, have we?
Well,
On the hydraulic study?
we had a conversation in closed session at the last meeting on that. In closed session.
Okay, my motion still stands. I mean, I think enough is enough. We're gonna start having to replace those pumps up there when they burn out. And it's gonna be because we don't have any pressure because we hadn't done anything. And it's gonna be our fault. We've got 3 engineers coming in, we can't get a damn hydraulic study.
Is there a second?
I second it.
Any further discussion? It's not. Not. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Can we steer it, go a step further?
If you want to.
Yeah, let's do it. Who are we gonna have do it?
Well, I wouldn't say LaBella wouldn't be my pick.
No.
Well, you know.
I mean, I thought Wooten and LaBella both have it on their list.
As part of, I spoke to all 3 of the engineering firms, and as part of the AIA study that you've been approved for, you know, that is part of what would be covered in that. And John Gray has reached out to Mike, and they were going to work, you know, look up at what has been done by Sunny, and then take that information and see where they are and see who's doing what. But with this motion, I will just let Wooten know that that is for them to take and move forward with.
As fast as
That'd be
possible.
good.
Okay. All right, I will share that with them in the morning.
Okay. Town Department head reports, administration, Paula Hill.
I apologize, I did not have a chance today to figure the handy numbers, so I will have that figured probably as early as tomorrow, and I will send that out to everyone.
Any questions for Paula? Police Department, Chief James.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, good evening. We've been offered a free microchip reader for stray animals that are located where the person could come by and scan the pet to see if it's has a local owner or find out who the owner is. And that was a call I got from Animal Control to Davidson County. So hopefully soon we will see that in place. I'm not having an update on it. I did ask them, is it easy to move in the event we do relocate here in the near future or whenever? And she said, yes, it would be easy to move.
How far will it detect a pet?
Well, I think you actually take it and hold it up and scan it. I've never seen it. I'm sure Ms. Hogan probably has.
I got 4 pets with a microchip, and that's a good thing. If, you know, somebody, if you lose your pet, it'll read. I've got my wrist.
Right. So it would help us. It would save us some trips taking a stray to the animal shelter in Lexington. If we could find out who the owner is and go ahead and contact them, it would certainly save us time and fuel running back and forth to the animals.
Good piece.
We are currently in the test phase of submitting crime statistics to the State Bureau of Investigation. I've submitted May, June, and July of 2023. It's requiring reports to be validated before they can be transmitted to Raleigh. So hopefully, as time allows, I'll keep doing more and more months and getting all those fixed and validated where we can eventually go live. And then after we get a database, we'll be able to compare starting on May 2nd, 2023, which is when Motorola came into place. And then we will know how May of 2024 compares to May of 2023. So I think it'll be a great thing to determine manpower needs and what kind of job our police department is doing. We have had several cases recently of individuals passing counterfeit money. We have conferred with the United States Secret Service, and they're supposed to come by and pick up some of those bills. My understanding is, and Ms. Grubb may know more than me on this, but the marking pen shows that that is actually a good piece of money. But it's when it's run through other counterfeit detection devices, it's coming back as counterfeit. So I think $900 and some was passed in one location, either Dollar General or Dollar General Market. So that's something we're seeing more of, and they've got more, they've become more experts at making it look like the real thing. So we're trying to get a grip on that, and hopefully the Secret Service can help us out. We are conducting community visits, and we're documenting those on the form, and I think that was at the suggestion of Commissioner Morris, so we are doing that. We're getting some good feedback from citizens. I will say I continue to send Commissioner Todd Yates and our town manager information on animal calls that we go on, as well as times that we are assisting the Davidson County Sheriff's Office. This weekend, we actually took 3 calls for them. And each time we do that, we're documenting it, and I am sending that to the chair of the county commission, as well as Ms. Jenkins. Very soon, our agency should be receiving a radar at no cost through the Governor's Highway Safety Program. We recently hosted the saturation patrol here in Denton. And I think the manager sent out, there were 66 charges made during that event. Officer Carson Wood has started phase 2 of the FTO program. So he's progressing very well. I hope we'll have him on his own in the not too distant future. As of today, Captain Claude Felter began a trilogy of FBI leadership training, supervisory training, and it'll be in 3 phases. I think we're paying $350 per phase, and we're glad that and appreciate you budgeting $5,000 for training needs. So thank you for that. Be glad to answer any questions anyone has.
I have a question, and I think I know the answer, but the recent publicity that was talking about the 109 suite that included Davidson County Sheriff, Thomasville, and Lexington, is that something we were not invited to participate with?
That's what is on item number 6.
Yeah, we actually did host it. We met at the Southern Event Center. And that's the way it works. There's times Thomasville will host it, Lexington will host it. We normally send an officer there, and in return, the highway patrol and all those agencies send someone here.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw y'all something.
Because I mean, it definitely was saturated that
Right.
day, but prior to that, there was this huge article on one of the news stations about the 109 strip between Denton and Thomasville and all the work that had been done by those three agencies, and it did not include Denton, and I was just curious, were we not invited to participate in that?
I don't think that was a governor's highway safety
No, it
event,
wasn't.
so we were not invited to
Okay.
participate in that one. And with mutual aid agreements, we've got one specifically for governor's highway safety. And any time that they call for something else, we have another mutual aid agreement in place where we could assist in those. But no, ma'am, we were not invited to participate in that. Anything else?
I was gonna say, I saw y'all at Larry Furr's, and I appreciate, I think it had the town sort of
Oh, it had it down.
upset about what was going on. They didn't know it was the governor, you know, didn't know what was going on. But I was glad that seemed to go well,
Right.
really well.
How many arrests did you have on, not putting you on the spot, but people with drug paraphernalia? Drugs in the car?
Disturbing that time of day, we ran it from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. and we had 2 people with open containers drinking alcohol that time of day. I don't remember the drug paraphernalia, I got it in the stick. I sent it to Angel, so she's quicker than me. Let's see. Can't tell, we had 42 other charges, and the way that we send exactly what the governor's highway safety wants, I can look in that and get you an answer. But
That's okay. I just wondered, you always get, traditionally you always get 4 or 5.
Yes, we do, and that's part of the reason we do it, is to send the message. We don't want you using drugs, we don't want you moving drugs through the town of Denton. And I will tell you, I've observed, and I imagine most of you have, just traveling in my personal vehicle, I meet more people than I ever have, and I detect the odor of marijuana emanating from that vehicle. And it's pretty scary that, we have people move here from Colorado and all over, and they say, well, it's not legal here. No, it's not legal here. But it's astounding to me how often I smell it coming from another vehicle.
Hey, I was in the pickup line at McDonald's in Troy back in the fall, and the 2 women in front of me were smoking marijuana. The windows were down. I mean, you could really smell it. It's right out in public.
Yeah, Dollar General was standing out there at the door, and somebody got out of the vehicle right there, and it was just like blew us away, just standing in front of it. That's a large smell.
It's frightening, and we're meeting them on the highway.
Crazy.
Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Brandon here.
It's not, you want me just to touch on this. So they are continuing to work on the grant purchases for the FEMA Go grant, and they should have recommendations for you guys to look at the March meeting. The fire apparatus received its annual testing and maintenance. The engine and brush truck will be having some repairs fixed in order that were discovered during the maintenance, and in order to have those inspected. They've completed their yearly reports, attended Davidson County Public Safety Associational meeting that was held at Tyro, attended a local meeting with the Auto Aid Department chiefs, and the fire department handled 284 responses for the year of 2024, which is up from 231 the previous year. They had 24 total accidents for the month of January, or incidents, sorry. 3 fire, 2 working incidents, 6 alarm, 3 traffic accidents, 4 EMS, and 8 other.
Public Works, Mike High.
We purchased a bucket truck, got that in place, and we were going on to rent another one, paying all that money for rent. We was gonna take the lights down as soon as we got the truck back to Denton. Then the water leak really started. We've been fixing 2 or 3 of them a day for, I reckon, the last between 7 and 9 days. I know we're 4 more is right now. We got them called in to be located, so they're located, we'll get them fixed. We on the last few piles of leaves. Gonna try to knock the leaves and the Christmas lights out this week. In between time, the locator just locate these water leaks. Ricky's supposed to be back Wednesday. That'll help. We'll have 1 more extra man. We've been hauling the waste from the water plant to Davidson County landfill, trying to get all that cleaned up. And I think I got a pretty good lead on a service truck to replace the old one we have. And our usual work, that seems to be water leaks. That's about it.
Any questions for Mike? You owe me a cheeseburger and a french fry. Think about it. I'll tell you later.
I remember, but I don't remember what for.
Wastewater treatment plant. Excuse me. Water treatment plant, Jason. Sorry, Jason.
So, it's done quite a bit down there. We're getting ready for inspection on the lagoon down there and the wastewater discharge. That's our biggest thing we're kind of getting ready for. Michael's been down there, starting to get rid of some of the sludge that's built up. We got a long way to go there. It kind of all dominoes together. The sludge we have now in one of the basins has to be sent down into something that's already full, so before we can get Southern Soil to come out there and start getting that one lagoon cleared out. I think they're waiting for some more drier weather on that. We're having to collect TOC, which is total organic carbons. Once we're doing it monthly now, where it was quarterly. That ties into our permanganate and carbon feed systems, which have been down for the past 3 months now. We've been talking with Underwood to get out there and get them to fix the injectors. They were out there 2 weeks ago, and he said he was gonna call the guy again, so I'm gonna follow up again with him there, because when the water starts warming up again, that increases our need for permanganate and carbon to get rid of the organics in the water. This recent cold weather, it's given us a lot of things that froze up, busted, and that usually don't. We actually had the basins had about 2 or 3 inches of ice on top of them all the way across. That was pretty interesting to see, but we've had things, the lines freeze up at the plant. That usually don't. We've had to heat wrap a lot of things and do some different maintenance with that. Right now, one of our bigger issues is the sludge disposal. Hopefully getting that out of there, drops in them basins. The engineer that Handy had contracted to come out and look at that lagoon came through. I walked through the plant with him, in different areas. He did, I guess, they sent a land surveyor out last week to kind of go outside and survey where that possible location for the pre-treatment lagoon would be. So they're kind of, I guess, getting that started now. Hopefully we'll get the new turbidimeters delivered the next week or 2 and get those set up. I think that's the bigger things right now, the sludge and the injectors for the permanganate carbons are our biggest issues. More longer term, we definitely need to try and get 1 more hired. Right now, pretty much my weekend staff is comprised of 1 part-timer that tells them when he can and can't work. So if we could get another 1 hired, soon full-time, that'd be nice.
Long term, that sounds like you need to quickly.
Because busy season's coming up soon, so that's pretty much the bigger stuff that's going on now outside of the just regular process things. We're trying to get ready for this, the higher demand coming up soon. Any questions?
How many employees you got down there now, Jason?
Right now we've got, Mary, she's going to be sitting for the test at the end of this month, and hopefully she'll be getting certified. She'll be our night shift person. We've got 3 full-time right now, and then just some part-timers for the weekends right now.
3 full-time certified?
There's 3 full-time certified. One of those includes me and Thomas, and 2 2 operators, that are specific operators that are certified. Hopefully they have a 3rd by the end of this month with Mary on confidential password test. So it should go pretty good.
Thank you, Jay. Troy Murray.
We submitted the Tier 2 report at the beginning of the month. That's the hazardous materials storage report to the EPA. I am continuing to work on the local water supply plan. I'm almost finished with it. That's the report that tells us what our water loss is every year. The road to the wastewater treatment plant got gravel this week, and that's much appreciated. I met with Rural Water last week. I've asked for their assistance in completing the MPDS permit application. That'll be due this summer. I have completed the annual wastewater report, and it will be made available to the public in the next 2 weeks. It's due in April. I am now in the compiling data stage of the annual water quality report. It's also known as the Consumer Confidence Report. I will have it submitted to the state within the next 30 days. We have to share our analytical data with Handy, and it's due no later than April 1st. That won't be a problem. February is our biggest sampling month at the wastewater treatment plant and the distribution system. We will be busy with our test. We will also be collecting trihalomethanes on the 13th, so we'll be doing hydrant flushings around town the week of the 10th. And I will be attending the quarterly meeting of the Yadkin PD River Basin Association in Salisbury on Friday. That's it, regular maintenance.
Questions from Troy? Thank you, Troy. Town attorney update.
I think I gave all my updated closed session, so I think we're good to go.
Town manager's report.
Just have a couple of things I want to share with you guys. I have been sending out Friday updates, so I'll hit on a little bit of that, and the copies will be attached to our minutes. Saturday, the mayor and I were asked to attend a meeting at the library for families to readers become leaders. So it was really neat to have the kids come in. They had a musical theme, and the mayor made beignets, and I put on tattoos. I even put myself one on. So if they have them, I need one too. It's the only one I have. So. But I was talking with a lady. She came over and had a conversation with myself, and then also with the mayor. Her name is Susan Scarborough. She's a master gardener and a pollinator garden initiative committee chair. And what their goal is to have plantings around the town that would possibly be pollinators for the native bees that we have. And I apologize, I should have made everybody copies of this, but this is like the flowers that will attract the bees, and these are the bees that are native to North Carolina. So in putting these type of flowers in areas, it would potentially attract those pollinating bees. This is just an example of what one of the garden beds would look like. And she is asking, is there anywhere that the town would allow for a planting like this to take place? I did, and it's just kind of like a sketch of what planters would be. I did go down to the park today. There is some areas there, kind of around the rock, kind of around the sign where the donations were made. They're a little bit bare, so there could be some potential for some plantings there. Also, beside the farmer's market building, there's a green space there. And then there's also a green space down the side of the old Public Works building right here at the railroad tracks. So,
what about the one across from the funeral home?
Yeah,
that
that
could be
would
ideal
really look
place.
nice.
well, the only we could. It depends on how much we do. Not taking away from space for vendors, but maybe the front portion, or there could definitely be some. that could be there. But as you can see, it is very attractive looking, and it would put some color in places that need it. So if it's okay with the board, I would reach out to her and just have her come down and look at these areas. She did say it is necessary to get them in the ground in the next couple of weeks because they need to be cold dormant for several weeks before they sprout. So
That would brighten up that down there in that area.
Yeah, there's not room down there inside the public work building, I don't believe. It's on our land.
it actually is. I took a picture. I'll share that with you. So this is the building. That didn't work the way I wanted it to.
You know, about next to the creek?
Yep, like just straight down Jones. So on that side where, Jones runs through. I mean, it might add some,
Hey, we can get it painted too.
so add some look to it. I know, we never did that quote back from them, did we?
Well, I got a couple of quotes, but I had mentioned sometime back to Michael, and I'd have to look and see if there's a work order in for it, but some facial board needs to be replaced before we actually have it painted.
This is the little space between, between the propane and the farmer's market. There's past the door, there's some green space there. I saw that. And then at the Harrison Park, this area where the big rock is, we've got some bushes that are there, but there may be some individual plantings that can take place there. And then also, like on this little area where there's a donation sign that we've actually looked at maybe doing some update because it looks like it's peeling and stuff. The board itself is weathered pretty bad. But several areas. So if you guys are okay with that, I'll meet with them and see what areas work best. So it's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Some other things, I did reach out. I shared with you guys about the lighting situation on 109 through Duke Energy and the conflict there with the NCDOT. I did reach out to them and ask them to have another conversation about this, that we see lights in other places, and we really would like for them to.
Did you say Mark said no?
Sorry, say that again.
Did you say Mark said no about?
Yes, he did.
Mayor, why don't you ask him? Tell him about that $40,000 you give him.
Yeah.
All right.
For a water tank?
Yeah.
All right. So, but I am waiting for them to give me a date that we can get that meeting if they want to come here and us kind of look at the property and.
Yeah, there gotta be a way some way.
Yeah.
Miss, did you find anything out about Thomasville, how bad that is?
I reached out to
She
Michael
did.
Brandt, and Michael's sent my request to the lead on that project, but I've not heard back from them, so I'll do a follow-up with them on that too.
And I can ask tomorrow in committees as well.
Yeah.
But I knew Angel had immediately contacted him
Yeah.
after our last meeting.
I did. Let's see. I'm just gonna open it up to questions. Like I said, I've been sending out some information, so if there's anything that you want me to specifically mention,
On the meters, they talk like it wouldn't be long once we pull the trigger.
right.
When we pull the
So
trigger.
we are, they just sent me an email Friday evening, actually, I got it this morning, and they want to do a joint meeting the week of, I think, February 18th to come back down. We've already had one. The staff's been providing, looking at the list to provide to them the current meters that are not active and long-term not active, because we do have a few of those. But the team will be back down the week of the 18th. They have filed for our radio frequency, thank you, I couldn't think of that word. So they are in the process of getting that. They said it should be here within the next 30 days.
Commissioner comments and concerns? Nothing?
One more thing, Mayor, if I may.
Sure.
I do need some guidance from the board, because we are going to be giving you a proposed rewrite to the special use permit ordinance. And I need to know if you want the decision to remain or to be placed in the planning hands, or if you want the decision to be placed in commissioner hands.
But it doesn't need to be both places, right?
Correct. The planning board can review it and give a recommendation, but it's best not to have two hearings. And so we need the final determination to lie with one board.
I'd say that's the best, let them give his recommendation, let's have it here.
I'd agree too.
Yep.
That's a
We will
recommendation.
move forward with rewriting the ordinance.
And do we need to go ahead and put a moratorium on any further right now? Or did we do that last meeting?
So the only thing that we have going on is special use permits based on the fact that our zoning ordinance needs to be rewritten within.
So all special use permits
All
have
right,
a
have moratorium
moratorium
right now.
Yes.
currently.
Okay.
And, you know, the county has also done that for solar farms. So I'm not sure if the board wants to take that action for future.
I'd say somewhere we need to differentiate between regular special use permit and solar farm. Because solar farm is the only thing we really want to do at this time, for the others.
Well, we just need our process with the special use permits corrected.
Yep.
And so when you get that corrected, then if you wish to take further action on the solar farms, I think that's the appropriate time to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, the county, on their meeting December 16th, they're gonna do due diligence for 2 years on the effects and what all they need to, they feel like they're not informed on enough about it.
Has anyone heard anything from Paul Briggs?
Where are we with that? Well, I was gonna wait until after all of this to send the meeting out, but it's scheduled for what, the 12th? At 4 p.m.
At the bank.
At the bank, yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
February the 12th.
Mm-hmm. At 4.
I thought maybe he was taking up with Summit or somebody. I hadn't heard from him in so long. Okay, great. February the 10th, Planning and Zoning Board, 6 p.m. Town Hall. February 17th, Parks and Recreation, 6:15. And of course, on February the 18th, Larry Furr, 6 o'clock.
No.
March 18th is Larry.
March 18th.
March
I've got March
18th,
on
it's
here.
between 11th and the 18th that they're gonna get back with us on the bar screen meeting.
Yep. And I would need a motion and a second to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Hopefully Bruce is quite as bad as me.
Yeah. Bill Carr, his day.
Sorry, Larry. That's what I started.
Town attorney.
Billy Joe, good to see you.
I told her,
Good to see you.
and I told her.
I like
the meeting.
Don't forget to put the cat off.